Welcome back to our continuing playthrough of Pericles, the Peloponnesian Wars, where we are still in turn 1, and we are getting ready to resolve the theater issues. But before we do that, a commenter actually caught an error I made. And it turns out, back in the assembly phase, when we were playing the last card of the debate, I had forgotten to award the Strategos tokens. And someone pointed that out, and it turns out the demagogues played a War and Peace aligned issue that should have got them one more Strategos token. Now, he said that I should have got one too, but actually, and it's a rule I may have forgotten to note, is that if you play a card, which I did, which wasn't aligned, you do not get the Strategos tokens. So I do not get one. The demagogues get one. I don't get one. So thanks for catching that error. And now, just a brief recap. I got slammed in the assembly pretty hard. I got ostracized. Yeah, you may know this from, the ostracism was kind of a way to get, you get somebody who got a little too uppity in Athens. They basically write your name on a pottery shard, and you'd be exiled for 10 years from Athens. And I've actually seen that. There's one, there's the Ostrakon, that's the little pottery shards they scratch on for Themistocles. I've actually seen those in a museum. I can't remember where. It might have been the Smithsonian. They might have had them on, I don't know if they're theirs or belong to them, or they are on loan. I think they might have been on loan. I think it was like some kind of, democracy through the ages history or something like that, and I got to see those pottery shards with Themistocles' names on them. Also, the funny thing is Thucydides, the author of this history here, also experienced exile from ostracism. And apparently, I can't remember the details, he, on his watch, military defeat happened, and he got kicked out. And this brings up kind of a funny thing. I had a very cynical professor who remarked that, Thucydides writing the history of the Athenian democracy, essentially, was kind of like General McClellan writing the history of the Lincoln administration. Yeah. So, anyway, I got ostracized pretty hard, and I didn't get very many issues. So I've lost control of the faction. I had a few issues, and theater issues I was able to earn, and now it is time to resolve them. And we resolve them in honor order, and the honor order is the demagogues first, the Agiad of the Spartans second, the Eurypontids third of the Spartans, and finally me, because I'm way back here on the score, and going down. Okay, so the demagogues go first, and as a bot, they're gonna, grab one of their issues, and you always grab an issue that you have that's exposed. Obviously, you can't pick Spartan ones, and the only one that is like that is this one here. And I have the feeling that this is just plain old rumors. One of mine, actually. You can just get rid of that, and actually, I'm not just gonna get rid of it. And this is kind of an important, here, let me focus in here a little bit. When I resolve an issue, for when you're playing the bots, this is a good idea. Okay, my first issue that got resolved, I wonder if I should put it on, yeah, it actually makes more sense to do it with the guy who did it. Okay, that's his resolution. So if I ever get lost, or if I ever have to get called away from the board or something, I'm like, okay, whose turn is it? This will remind me, because, obviously somebody's resolved an issue here. That must mean that this guy is the next to go. Okay, so that's a little handy tip if you're playing this solo. So, now it is the Agiad's turn to resolve an issue. Now, there's a whole bunch he could pull from, but of course, he is in charge of here's his strategy right here. Here's his primary theater for his strategy, which is to kick the Delian League out of this theater. And we can see he does have an issue on. There is an issue for the Spartans on top of here, so that will be the one he picks. And like again, that is another rumors marker. Like that. Now we are on to the Erepantids. They're trying to build a base in Sicily. Now here's where we're actually going to start seeing some motion. Because I believe this is the military issue. Let us talk about how we are going to resolve this. We break out our strategy matrix, and let's see if I can get it in the camera here properly. Sicily. If neutral, it is. There's no one in it. Commit 1 Strategos token and follow the military expedition flowchart. Okay. So, we commit 1 Strategos token and we put it in the theater. And now, according to the flowchart here, here is our military expedition flowchart. Focus, please. Thank you. And we just go through the list. It's Formio's turn to resolve a military expedition. Assemble military units in the theater equal to total friendly Strategos tokens committed. It's an important rule. Is basically I can only move, and that's what the military issue does. It allows movement. Move units, squares, these cubes, or the stick, or these long sticks here equal to the number of Strategos tokens here, and that's why it's important to have a lot of these things so you can move more units, obviously. So, we're going to move 1 unit there. We're just trying to get in there so that we can set up a base. So we're not committing a whole bunch of forces there. The only reason we would is if there were already units here. So it asks us, have units equal to the Strategos commitment been assembled? No. Is this a land theater? And the answer is yes. If you look at Sicily here, it has this brown border, which means it's a land theater. A one with a blue border would be a naval theater, and that has all kinds of ramifications for battle and movement, which we will get into as this game progresses. Okay, it is a land theater. Can a land unit assemble in theater without naval support? And the answer actually to this is yes. And now we get into movement. Movement is very free form in this, in the sense that when you move someone, you can move literally anywhere across the map, loop-de-doop, in the most indirect way as you want, but with only 2 conditions. And the 2 conditions are you either reach the target place where the league issue is, or something on the way stops you. And that's the only times you can stop, is when you're forced to stop, or you get to where you're going. Now about this naval support, that gets us into the whole movement chart down here. And basically we use the roots, and this tells us, okay, well, I'm going to bring a land unit here, and basically this is what stops. In fact, maybe it's just easier if I just kind of show. We'll start him on the way. Now, by the way, the answer is yes, they can get there without naval support. I will go over how that is. And so it tells us to move strongest land unit else closest to theater. So my strongest land unit are the Spartans. That's because they're cubes. These cubes have a military value of 2. As opposed to Spartan allies, their cubes only have a value of 1. So it's going to be a Spartan unit. Now, I mean, we need to talk about this little guy, this little meeple here. Technically is the strongest because he, not only does he have a military value of 2, he also counts as a Strategos token. So as far as I know, and I've read these rules, I think it's been asked before, this is the strongest unit. And I think when the flowchart asks for your strongest unit, I think it's referring to this. If someone disagrees, let me know. I think I'll go review that on the Board Game Geek and see if anyone has a different opinion. But I think that's how it is. Now, so he's going to move, and we're only moving one guy because we only have one Strategos token in here. Now, where can he move? How can he get to Sicily? Let's get them all. Let's see. Let me adjust my camera here. Let me pause. So, let's get him on the move. Now, notice this little line here going to Athens. So, you can see all these roads going to Sicily. Which one will we take? We actually cannot take this one because if we look at our chart here, and we see, okay, this is a land unit. He would count as a cube, even though he's a meeple. And it says no exit. So he cannot exit out of this box. You're always going by exit, not entrance. You can enter anywhere as long as you can exit the box you're trying to the target you're trying to get to. So that's off the table. That leaves only Sparta through here, which is a dark blue one, which is land. And basically, and I'll show you here what this means. So we're first going to go up here. Now you need to check as you go, because I can only exit again if my land military value is greater than the enemy's. Okay, now we have bases here, and the bases count as 2 military value. So the enemy in this space has 1, 2 for the base. Oh, I mashed my stack here. Hold on, let me edit it back to where it was. And like I said, 1, 2, 3. But the Peloponnesians, the Spartan allies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as a value. And so these two, so just him and him would be enough to counter this. Everything else can move out. So he can exit. Now, where would he exit to? Now, he could go to Athens. There's a little blue bar here. And he would get stuck there because he would be a military value of 1, 2, technically 3, because he's the what are these called? The 300. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He would be stuck here. However, this is a bad play for the bot. He'd be totally exposed here by his lonesome. The Athenians would just lunch him up. That would just hand the Athenians a bunch of victory points and get Spartan hostages for defeating a red guy. And there's a whole reasons why. And so that's as far as I can. And he mentions in the playbook, the bots are not supposed to try to make obviously boneheaded plays, and that's kind of a boneheaded play. So we're not going to do that. I mean, it does have the advantage of contesting it momentarily, but it's still a bad play. So you have a choice of going this way or this way. Now, we could go this way, and you can see here. Okay, let's go up here. Let's see who goes up here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So all these guys, in fact, you can kind of stack up like this. All these guys could technically exit, but we're only moving one guy, of course, and he could come around here, and you would think, okay, now he's here, and now he can go to Sicily. No, he can't, because we have kind of a special rule here. Sicily, of course, is not connected by land, but it's a little short hop skip from the mainland of Italy. But you need support to get across that little spit. And the only way you can do that is if there was a friendly base here. And that is the only way we would be able to exit from there. So this move is no good. Put simply, we can't get to Sicily based on based on the movement rules. So if we were back here, it does us no good here, because even if we don't stop here, remember, the rule is you only stop if you can't exit, if something stops you. Nothing is stopping us here from going back or back here or back here. I can still move around. Something has to get you stuck in a box before you can stop. And so, really, the most sensible thing He could go that way. Also, he could go this way as well. He has, and you'll see here, you're allowed to exit this box. You can see the little stick here, which means the navies, but only if you have, well, actually, that doesn't apply to us, because that would stick a navy. It doesn't stop land units. The land unit could move in here. This is technically the only place we can stop. Because when we come in here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, he does not have any surplus that allows him to move. So that is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to come in here, come to now Pactus. He's stuck. And now, but he's contesting the theater, which is generally a good thing when we're fighting along here. And that is his move. We discard the Stratego stock. That is his move for this military issue. Okay. That was a lot to throw at you. Please chime in the comments with any questions about this. I'll try to answer them. But that is the military, that is the movement in a nutshell. As we go along, this will be a lot more sensible. I wanted to spend a little time discussing it here. As we move on, I'll try to be a little shorter with that. Okay, so that resolves a military issue. Now watch this. It was resolved by him. So I'm going to put that right next to his honor marker. And then I'm going to put this on top of it. What this will do is say that his military issue has been covered. And that way, if the flowcharts ever ask me, are there still military issues on the table, I can look at a glance and tell, well, yes, there are, because there's none accounted for. That's my little trick for doing solo play. Okay, where are we? Okay, finally, it is my turn. Okay, what should I do? I have actually don't have hardly any options. I only have one option. And that's here, which I suspect is going to be... No, it's the Oracle. That's right. Now, okay, let's bring up Oracle issue and what it can do in this theater. I have a couple options. During War or Peace, pick one of the following three options. 1, gain 3 honor, just straight up honor. Gain 1 honor and remove any enemy league unit not based on map. Or place 1 treachery in 3 different theaters on the map. So what should I do? Now, quite frankly, I'm in the honor hole. And because I'm in the honor hole and we're just getting started, focus you, I say. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and take up the straight 3 honor. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I've made up the deficit from when I lost that assembly debate hard. So, that resolves the Oracle issue. And we just go around again. Now the demagogues go again. And as you can see, if you look around, you don't see any blue markers on top of the stacks. And when that's the case, he has no choice but to pass. And, you know, with my little tracking device, I'll just take one of these issues like this, and I'll just like stick it right there. And that indicates that he passed. So I can keep track of the turn. Now we're down to the Agiad. And they are trying to do Isthmus of Corinth. So, and there's a Spartan issue here, so we're going to actually pull this. And it's their next rumors marker. So, on to the Eurypontids. We're also going to do the same thing. They're going for Sicily. Now, here we go. And here's where the timing issue matters. He would pick this one. It is a league issue, but let's take a look at league issue. War or peace, friendly, controlled, or contested theaters. It's neither. And one of my options is to expend 4 Strategos and build a league base. Expend 2 Strategos and convert a league base to a city-state base. and gain honor. Oh, we gain honor for the other one too. If league base, build 1 league naval unit or 2 league land units for each base in the theater, or remove 1 friendly or enemy treachery. However, this one stops us. Friendly controlled or contested theater. It is a neutral theater. What that means is essentially this league issue is a dead issue. It doesn't do us any good, so we get rid of it. And almost in a sense, it's almost a pass, quite frankly. And that's where it gets into that whole timing issue. Had that Spartan been able to get down here, we could have made the base. But he couldn't. He got stuck getting there. But we are getting more western movement. And so hopefully over time we'll be able to get to Sicily and start making effects on it. But there you go. Finally, it is my turn again. Okay, a little post-production freeze edit here. I just wanted to chime in because this video went 45 minutes long, which is just too long in terms of processing. So I'm going to end it here. And we'll just, I'll just edit in make it a separate video for the remainder of this phase. And so, leave any comments or questions below. I'll try to get to them. I know there's a lot of information to shoot at you. But, thanks for watching.